morning, beautiful people. It is a beautiful morning, but it is a cold morning. And it's going to get colder. I can't even let my birds out, even though it's sunny. It's deceptively sunny. Let me just put it that way. It's pretty cold out there. I had to tell you a story about what happened this morning. This was so funny. And I thought, oh, somebody needs to laugh at me with me, all right? I mean, laugh at me with me. Okay. I did a thing that I told you about how the coffees that I'm really loving right now. And no sponsored. I don't have, who would have me sponsored their video for coffee? Nobody. Nobody. It's not that kind of channel, really. Even though it doesn't stop people from sending me the weirdest offers, and I always reject them or don't answer them. But, okay, my favorite of all time right now is this coffee, Bulletproof Coffee. Okay? Now, this is very expensive. And the first time I bought it, it was on sale. The next time I went to get any, it was back to the regular price of $16.99 at Walmart online. That's a lot for 12 ounces of coffee, in my opinion. It's more than I usually spend, way more. But this is a clean coffee. It's toxin tested to be sure there's no molds in it. It's sustainably sourced and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and it's just really nice. It's called a clean coffee, and this is the original. Now this is the whole bean, and that's where the story starts. Is with the whole beans in here. Before I go, I have to read the notes. It's not flavored coffee. This is just the notes that you can pick up on in the natural beans in this coffee. The notes are cinnamon, plum, and orange. Smooth and well balanced medium roast. Okay, so Walmart's Black Friday stuff. They came out with this on sale. Finally, I've been looking for it for weeks. And it finally was on sale. And I thought, I can get two of them because it'll be a long time before it goes on sale again. So I got two of them. It's like $12.50 a bag, which is a lot better than 17 bucks. And so I got two of them. And I have a little grinder and I grind these beans. Well, I grind them. I have a little plastic container about like that. And I usually grind enough to fill that. And then I use that and then I grind some more. So I don't grind it all at once. And I don't grind it way ahead of time for freshness and the most flavor. But I finished the other bag and I didn't even have enough to put one full little cup of the beans for grinding. So I went and got the next bag out. And these bags, they have the little metal tabs, and then you have to pull them apart. Pull those. It's got sealed. You have to pull it apart. Well, I'm standing at the end of the. I'm standing at the end of the island in the kitchen, and I'm pulling this apart. And I'm kind of watching one of my funniest channels, Chicks on the Right, on YouTube, out of the corner of my eye. And so I guess I'm not fully paying attention to what I'm doing. And I'm pulling it. All of a sudden, it slips out of my hand, and it hits like this, okay, and then it turns over. Beans go. I have a pine floor, okay? It's a pine. This is huge. This thing, huge thing. It's two sizes too big. Sorry. It looks kind of big and bulky. So it hits the pine floor and it goes scatters. Now my pine floor is an old pine floor. It was put in 30 years ago, and so it's yellowed over time. So it's kind of an orangey color. You know how the old cabin grade pine floors end up getting. And it was refinished in 2013 when I had the house fire, and it had to be, but it's still kind of orange, all right? About the same color as my orange tabby cat, actually. He kind of blends in with the floor when he lays down. So I gotta watch where I'm stepping. But, so the beans go, I'm going, oh no, because about that far from where I'm standing is the cat's bowl. Now my cat's a funny cat. Finn is a funny cat. I'm trying to get him away from the kibble. That's not good for cats. I want to get him away from the kibble and get him some good quality, grain-free. And yes, I know people say grain-free is not good. But it is, as long as they don't fill it with beans. They don't make the protein beans. Well, I'm trying to get him to eat these little cans of this higher quality cat food, and he liked them, right? But he's addicted to the kibble. So he will eat, he'll go, I'll put it in his bowl. No matter what time I get up, if I get up at 3 in the morning, that cat is right there waiting for his bowl of food. I'm serious. I mean, I can see a little ghost coming across the floor. I'm like, I can't even get my cup of coffee for this crazy cat wants me to feed it. So I feed him the first meal, and it's always a can of food. It's canned food. He has another little bowl that's actually a little casserole dish. It's like a little square casserole, but it's a little one. And bigger than a ramekin, but it's a good size little casserole dish. And I put his kibble in that. Well, he'll eat some of the wet, and then he'll go away, and he'll come back later and he'll get some more. And then eventually he decides he wants the kibble. So he goes around to his little square bowl, and he sits by it, and he looks at me. In fact, every time I go in the kitchen, he sits in the bowl and looks at me. So I'm like, it's too early for you to have your kibble, so you can't have that yet. You can't have that dry food yet. Well, I'm trying to wean him off of it, but he's a little bit of an addict, so it's been hard. It's either he eats some of that or he don't eat it all sometimes. So anyway, but I dropped this bag of coffee beans and a bunch of them scattered across the floor. Well, if you have a cat, you know that if he eats kibble and he drinks water and he goes to eat, the kibble sticks to his mouth. And that's why you find little pieces of cat food all over the floors. They'll eventually just drop off, and you come in the kitchen, you step on a piece of cat food. Thank God it's the kibble and not the wet stuff, but anyway. So I'm starting to pick up the beans. I can't use my nasty broom. So I get a paper towel, and I lay it on the floor and I'm kind of scooping them onto the paper towel so that I can pour it back in the bag. Because I'm not letting go one bean of that expensive coffee, okay? Well, I mean, $12.50 may not sound expensive to you, but think about it. McCafe in the same amounts cost you about $8, so it's a little bit more expensive. That's at the sale price. And I'm picking up every bean. Let me tell you, some of those beans traveled to the living room. I mean, they just scattered and they just kept walking. Well, so I'm doing that. And all of a sudden, I will go, oh, is this a bean or cat food? And I have to look. Some of them I can't tell in a certain light. I have to pick it up to see if it's a coffee bean or a piece of dry cat food. And I did find a piece of dry cat food to put in his bowl. So I'm doing all this stuff. And I think I've got them all, right? And I think I poured them back in the bag and everything. They're okay. The floors have been mopped recently. It's good. But then I look over. And near his bowl is what I think is a coffee bean. What I think is a coffee bean. And I'm better be sure this is not cat food. So I pick it up and look at it. And it's a dead stink bug. So I'm going through trying to pick up every coffee bean and separate it from the cat food and the stink bugs. If you know stink bug invasion, you know stink bugs, you know. They're everywhere. And they die at the weirdest places. Or sometimes they just don't die. You try to flush those and they'll crawl out of the toilet, I swear. But that's what happened this morning. Now, after I bought the first 2 bags of this at the reduced price, a couple days later I went back and it was still the same price. And I went, I'm getting a 3rd bag, so I did. But I wasn't letting one bean go. Would you? I thought you might enjoy that story. You just helped me make fun of me. My husband gets tangled up in cords and I end up dropping things. That's just the way it is. Or somebody will step. I used to get things spilled on me all the time when I had kids. Like, we're going across the parking lot. It's back when we used to eat fast food. Going across the parking lot to Burger King or something. And I didn't know it. I felt something on the back of my leg. I was wearing jeans. So I felt something on the back of my leg and I looked down and there's something all over my pants. My younger son has found a ketchup packet in the parking lot. And what does he do? What would a little boy do? He stomped on it. Squirt right on my pants. Ketchup. Yeah. So that's my curse. Dropping things and getting things spilled or squirted onto me. So anyway, there you go. There's the funny story for the day. And completely true from start to finish. I don't tell stories that are not true. If I'm making up a story, I'll let you know. But yeah, and one last word. Everybody on this dang platform is all everybody else's channel is about Candace Owens, Candace Owens, Candace Owens. Well, about 10 years ago, I thought Candace Owens was a real smart person. I used to watch her thinking, and I admired her. I thought, that's a thinking woman. She's somebody that, I could see being a female president one day. I hope not. I hope she ain't no more than president of the garden club if she'd even get her little fingernails dirty. Because this person went totally off the rails. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene, same thing. Used to admire her, thought she was a spunky hellcat. We needed her in Georgia. Well, now I don't know what happened to her. They're both going to the left somehow. This is crazy. And so, Candace, she keeps bringing up, this is just God. I see Charlie in my dreams and it's God. No, honey, that's superstition. No, honey, that's superstition. But Erica Kirk had an interview, and that woman is a classy Christian woman. As far as I know, I don't know her personally. Of course, I don't. Neither do I know Candace, but I've watched Candace a long time, so I really got the goods on her. I can understand how she's changed, how much she's changed. She even has a little cult following. Her little minions go after everybody who criticizes her on every other channel. And I don't want to be one of the people who that's all I talk about is Candace Owens. But this made me want to say something. Erica basically just said, and I'll just paraphrase, I just need them to leave us alone. We're trying to bury my husband. My child is praying at his graveside. I would like, just let me have this one thing. Let me have the memories of my husband and leave him alone and leave us alone as a family. Basically what the gist of her conversation was in the interview. And I agree. Hang on, got a cough. Sorry, my cough has come back. The night of my anniversary, my cough came back. I wonder if it had to do with eating the carbs in the pizza crust that day. Erica's basically said, please leave us alone. And I guess Candace has something to say about that too. And I'm thinking, you claim to be a Christian. And yet, so sorry to interrupt that. If my makeup's got streaks running in my face, just because my eyes are watering because I started coughing again. And don't ask me why, I don't have a clue. But Candace has something. She criticized the way that Erica asked for privacy and asked for respect. I'm sorry, Candace, you just blew it. You blew it. You have gone so over the top, it's very obvious. Either she was not who any of us thought she was in the first place, or her mask has slipped, as often happens with people who are not Christians. They're not true believers, but pew warmers. A pew warmer has the outward appearance of they go to church, they say the right things as far as their way that they believe in Scripture, and yet their fruit shows them to be a fraud. And this fruit that she's producing is rotten, smelly fruit. The one thing Bible has a lot to say about is protecting widows and children, providing for widows and children, not running them through the muck on the internet. That's exactly what she's done. She knows nothing. She is not who she says she is. In my opinion, I've been a believer since I was in my 20s. And I've learned a lot more since that time. And even though I don't put a pronouncement or a stamp on her soul saying she's saved or she's not saved or whatever. She's Catholic, she's not Christian. There's a difference. She's a pew warmer. There's people in every denomination in this world, whether Christian, non-Christian, whatever, that are posers. And to me, this person is a poser. Either she's ignorant of what Scripture tells her she's supposed to do in her daily life, which I believe she is anyway, or she is not who she claims to be, or she believes she's somebody that she really isn't. That happens too. People think, well, I'm a Christian, I go to church, and I try to do right by people, but dang it, this person, and we're all human, I get that, we are all human, but when you go after somebody because of the way they're grieving, as her little minions have done everywhere, all over the internet, you need to take a good long look at yourself. And I hope that she becomes a believer, because if she really does, you'll see a big change in her. She won't be the person that she is now. Whoever that is, and whoever that is extremely distasteful. So she's completely missed the mark. That's my opinion. I'm just looking at this as a believer and somebody who had a ministry with my husband. Now, I'm not the head of the ministry, he is. But he's my pastor. And we've learned a lot from other people, and over the years have evolved and changed into where we say, if this is what it says here. Is it talking to me? If it's talking to me, I need to take heed. If it's not talking to me, I can learn something about the person that it is talking about. You divide it up as to what it belongs to you and what does not belong to you in this age of grace, which is not under the law. And so, legalistic, I'm not being legalistic. I'm just saying she's showing her ignorance of what she should be doing and what she should be portraying as a believer representing the Lord Jesus Christ. And, if you think this is the way Christians are supposed to act, but when you go after a widow, and you go after a widow with children that they're trying to help understand what happened to their father, you've completely lost me. She lost me a while back. She lost me at the beginning of COVID. As soon as she started going against the President Trump, I started to see little things creep into her conversations, and I thought, same with Ben Shapiro. I was like, nah, you had to drop both of them. But now it's become so blatantly obvious to people who know what should be happening that this is not the same person as of 10 years ago. I mean, none of us are in every single way, but we should be getting better, not worse. Not worse. She's gotten so much worse. And it makes me sad because her and Marjorie Taylor Greene, the voices that should be leaders, are now just becoming stumbling blocks to everybody else. So that's all. But at least I gave you a funny story at the beginning, right? Y'all have a good day. Bye.